All right, so I just want to do a little review of some basics in regards to Proclaim at Cornerstone Church and how we use it, and some things that you'll encounter when you set up a weekly service. Pretty straightforward, but some things are getting overlooked on a regular basis, so I just want to kind of review them. So, as with most applications, a lot of your controls or your menu items are in the top left corner. File has a lot of your open save new things. So if you're going to make a new document, then you just go up and go File, Blank Presentation. Right when you do, the name of the file is going to be right there. It's already highlighted, and we can go ahead and name it whatever we want. I'm going to say test presentation. All right, enter. So there it is, saved. It's going to default to the current or next Sunday. So I'm doing this on a Sunday afternoon, evening, and if I were doing this on Monday, it would go ahead and just say December 3rd right there. By default, it's just the current or next Sunday. But if you were doing a midweek service, you can go ahead and select whatever date you want. I believe it gives you a warning if you do. No, I guess it doesn't. That sometimes it gives you warnings for things. It lets you know, hey, that's the wrong date. One other thing right here is the service start time. So if this was like the first service, I might say it's 8:30 a.m., right? You can do PM too. Right, so that's the start time, and I'll talk about why that's important in a second. But for now, 8:30 is fine. I did that, and I'm going to hit save and sync. When I do that, you'll notice right up here this little green checkbox that tells you that your service is synced. Now, the biggest thing with this is you can install Proclaim on any machine, log in with the credentials that you have. You've probably gotten an email saying, join Faith Life and the Cornerstone Church presentation group or video group, or is the number of groups I've made, sound group. Log in with those credentials. It'll automatically associate you with Cornerstone. This is my home computer. Anything I make here, when I hit save and sync, it's gonna upload everything to their cloud servers and download onto the remote computers at the church. So it's pretty handy. Now you've done that. Let's assume you've made this blank presentation, which we'll come back to, but you've already made it. You've walked into the church now, and you're looking to find out if there's a service there. Well, you could go to open, and you would be able to see a list of presentations, right? So here's a bunch of a test and a what's up thankful. There's a bunch of things here. But how do I know it's the one I want? Well, we've been naming the title in the first or second service. So what's up with this thankful stuff, which was today's sermon title, in second service, and then down here we see the same thing, first service. You can also see the date, Sunday, November 26th. So you know that that's the current Sunday. Presuming that whatever your day of the Sunday is, the date's going to be there, along with if it's the first or second service. Sometimes the titles are a little long. And depending on who made that is going to determine, as you can see, the second and first are very close to the edge. So try to be mindful of how long, even if the presenter or pastor has given a really long sermon title, maybe just do like a condensed version or something, just so that we can have, like I had done here for thankful stuff first service. Anyway, open recent, and that's where you're going to find it. This has been a thing that people have not been realizing, is you can come right to open recent and see the date and the name of the service. And even if the first or second was cut off, go ahead and open it and see which one has the songs and elements for that particular service. And typically there's only two, so pick the one that has the songs that you need. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to open up the first service, just so we can see that. So ta-da, here's all the stuff, and then we have all the different songs and the warm-up. Now I'll go back to that blank presentation to show how to add stuff in, a couple of the basic stuffs, but real quick, just to kind of overview, since everything's already in here, what the service time and stuff means. So we have two primary modes. We have edit and preview mode. So right now I'm in edit mode. That means that nothing is on any presentation screens. Anything I do is nothing is running or anything like that. Anything I click on is going to default to this center panel, and everything will be in edit mode. So like I'm on a song, I can click in and change any of the lines. I can change the background, anything like that. If I'm on a video, where's a video? Well, here's an image slide. I can go ahead and choose a different image, either from the library or the import. I can click on this. I can change this video import, a different one, or browse the media, any of that stuff. So that's what edit mode is. Preview mode, if I switch, I was on that video. As you can see, it automatically starts playing, depending on how it's set. If I go back to edit, you can also see that this little checkbox here says start playing automatically. If that was off and I went to preview, now it's not playing. So things like that is what you can do in edit mode. I won't get into all those details for every different type of element, but you can edit things in edit mode. Preview mode, this whole panel changes. There's a couple layout options for your preference. This one is like a PowerPointy kind of layout where you can scroll through things. This is a list of everything that's in it, and you can kind of just see it preview down here, and you can kind of click through what would be being presented with these arrows, or you can go ahead and use, this is the format we typically use, where it just kind of has everything here, and then what's selected is on this top right panel. Either way, whichever one you like, they both work, they're both fine. You can change the size of these two as far as how big they are and whatnot. Then the final thing is on air. So anything I click on in preview mode doesn't go up unless I hit on air. Once I hit on air, then whatever monitors are set as your presentation monitors, you can't see now, I'm just grabbing the working monitor, but my other screen is whatever is right here in this little section here. So I can also go into edit mode when I'm in this mode, and that will let me click on a song, for example, and I can edit and change the song. The program is still running on the screen. Nobody knows I'm doing it. If I click on a video, even though it's set to automatically play, it's not playing. I can go ahead and change whatever parameters of that video I want while it's in edit mode. Even though, again, you can't see it, I'm on air, my pre-service stuff is running just fine. One final thing about the pre-service and on air is, so we set that start time. As long as you are in on air mode and it's running your pre-service loop, it will go ahead and run right into whatever you have in your warm-up section, the set amount of time before your start time. So for example, if this were Sunday morning, it were before 8:30 a.m. And I were running, so let's say it's 8:20. This is running. It's gonna start playing this welcome video at 3 minutes and 26 seconds before 8:30. So it's gonna start at 8:25, 36, right? So that it'll do that all on its own. If it were 8:20 and for whatever reason I had like the Holy Spirit slide up on the screen because of a mistake, maybe I was editing and came out of editing and selected it and never switched off of it, whatever the reason, if you are in the service section selected and it is presented, then the service will not autoplay any of your pre-service stuff, because the program is assuming user has, for whatever reason, scheduling changes, you are running your service, you're not in pre-service, I'm not going to disrupt that and play your videos. So just a couple things to be mindful of. It's a great feature. It kind of takes that mental overhead of what time is it, what time is it, what time is it? Is it 3 minutes and 26 seconds before 8:30? I need to hit play so that we can start right on time. It takes all that away from you. All you have to do is let it run. But if you are there and it is running beforehand, it'll just run right through into it. So those two things are what you want to be mindful of. So those are some of the quick overview things. I do want to go back. I want to go back to my test presentation and show you how to pull stuff in real quick. We only really import 3 types of items, right? We're gonna pull in videos, we're gonna pull in PowerPoint presentations, and we're gonna pull in songs. Okay, so let's start with a song, because that's something everyone does all the time. This is just the default background here, but if I want to pull in a song like "How Great Is Our God," right? All I have to do is start typing it. How great is our God? And then bam, I have all these different options. There's one by Chris Tomlin, that's the one we typically do. If I hover over it, it goes ahead and shows me all the verses and lyrics, etc. If I go to this one here, you know, different languages. But let's say I want this one. That's the one I want. That's it. That's all I have to do to pull it in. It's all already templated. You can change it to your liking. Do whatever you want. We've been doing some tweaks and changes, but for the most part, you can kind of, if you don't want to really split hairs, bam, it's already done. So there's your song. We want to pull in a video. You can also drag and drop videos. So if let me go get a video, go to my desktop. So here's like one that I had done for Sunday service. Here's an edited one that I just was fiddling around with my program here. So I'm just gonna is it let me do it? No. My little folder. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it kind of glitched out there for a second. Let me do it again. But all I did is dragged it right over. Bam! Now it's in the program. So if you have a video or an image, you can just drag it right into the program. Don't have to do anything else. Drag it right in. If you weren't doing that, you can also go ahead and hit video. And then add video right here. I mean, it's very intuitive. Add item, video, that's what I want to add. Add video, import, and then wherever you have that. This is, you know, obviously it's going to change depending on your setup situation. We're going to be looking to unify how it all works, but for the most part, you're going to go to Dropbox via the web page, or if you have Dropbox installed with the church account, either way. You're going to go to the location, like so for example, the other day I downloaded some things, and here's my download videos, Thanksgiving Monster style, one of the videos from this morning. I click on it, here it is, I'm going to add it, and there it is, and that's it. If I wanted to add, now one other thing I want to point out too is, and when I just drag that in for a moment, you can see in my downloads folder, I have a bunch of different, I have some scroll, I have some PowerPoints, I have some videos, I have some images. When I go to add item and I go to video and I go to import, I go to that exact same location, my PC and downloads, I only see 4 files here. That's because when you go in through an application, it typically defaults to the file type of whatever it is that you're looking for. So I'm looking for a video, I'm only going to see videos when I go in there. If I'm looking for images, for example, this is an image, I want to add an image. It says image slideshow, but it's really just images. You can group them together is why. But again, same folder. Now I don't see those videos, I just see the images. If I go to import item PowerPoint, same folder. I just point that out because sometimes when people are adding things in, they make the mistake of, you know, they'll get mixed up. They'll say, oh, I want to add a video. They'll click on video. Once they go, or they'll click on add images, they'll click on add images and import, and all of a sudden that file that they wanted, that video file or whatever they got mixed up about, right? Whatever that was, all of a sudden it's not there, and they go, oh, something's not working, and really it's just because it's filtering file types. So I want to point that out because that's another common oversight that happens. So we've added those things, and the final distinction I'd make, I showed how to import images even though you don't have to. I mean, this is all very intuitive. Just there's a ton of things, there's a lot of features that can be really fun that we can look to. As a matter of fact, we could go to a web page and add a YouTube video. Not that we should because of licensing purposes, but we could just add a YouTube video straight from the web page by just going here and then pasting the URL right there, and then bam, there's a video, and it formats it very nicely. Again, be mindful of licensing. Don't just do that. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence, because we don't want to break the law and get sued and stuff like that. So and so the PowerPoint, when you go in and you pull it from PowerPoint, so I'm going to import these scrolls, right? I'm going to add scrolls. I'm going to choose convert to images rather than transfer control to PowerPoint. What transfer control to PowerPoint does, they both technically work, but it will literally just open up PowerPoint and run that next to Proclaim, and you have to go into PowerPoint to run the presentation. I mean, you can do that if you want. If there are, I mean, the reason why you would do that is if the PowerPoint had transitions and embedded things that you didn't during this process pull out. So like sometimes there'll be a PowerPoint where maybe somebody embedded the video straight into the PowerPoint. In PowerPoint it'll run those videos. If you convert it to an image, obviously it's not going to do that. What I often do is I'll go into PowerPoint separately. I'll open it up. I'll import that video so I can have it as a separate video here. The real net gain is the convenience of, oh hey, I don't have to run two programs at the same time and whatnot. I don't have to piggyback on top of things. So most of the time, there's none of that stuff in a PowerPoint, though. It's just converted to images. So I'm going to add it. It's going to do the conversion here. The little spinning wheel is going to go around, and then you see it breaks it all out. It makes a group of images for of that type. If I put that in a loop section, so if I put it in the post service loop, it's going to automatically add a timer, a scroll timer, so it will just scroll through these, hanging on it each for 10 or 5 seconds rather, and you can change that in edit by auto advance every 3 seconds. If I do this group, I can change that, you know, whatever. The default is 5, but I can change it to whatever I want. Same thing if I put it up in pre-service loop, you'll see 5. If I edit the group, if I select the top level group, I don't want to get into editing, but just to show you, it will auto add those things in there. Again, once it's all done, if I hit save and sync, click, all these elements actually, yeah. So you saw that little thing spin around. If it's the first time you've added certain like larger files like videos, these are nothing, but like this Monsters one has already been uploaded, so it's just identifying it's the same file. It's not really uploading it, it's just associating it, so it's a lot quicker. But if it's like the first time you downloaded it, you might want to watch that and make sure it syncs all up and whatnot. And the final thing is reuse item. So we have 2 services at Cornerstone, as you know, and so this fantastic feature of reuse item is once you've built that whole program, you have 2 options to kind of make your life easier. Let's say you've set up the first service. You can go ahead and duplicate recent, and you can just select whichever service that you just built. Like, so if you just built the first service and you want to make the second, go ahead and just duplicate it, rename it. So if I wanted to duplicate this, I just select it, duplicate test presentation 1, file, save and sync. Now somebody's gonna log in at some point and go, what are all these files here for? But that's what it is. It's just me. Open recent. Maybe it's because I have it open now, but there it is. Yep. So I had to enter on the name for it to register as that's the name. But now you can see that presentation, everything I just added. So if you went ahead and added everything except for the songs, which is the only real difference between the 2 services most of the time, you could go ahead and add all the scrolls and videos and sermons and whatnot. Add it all in, save and sync, duplicate it, and then add the songs into each one, and you don't have to add all this stuff in. But assuming you didn't do that, you can go ahead and go to add item, reuse item, and then just here's a list of everything that you've recently added to the program, and it will typically sort by, I'm not sure why it has this December 2nd stuff. Maybe someone else is working somewhere in the world, but December 2nd, let's see, maybe it's Saturday, maybe there's a Saturday service coming up, I don't know, but somebody just obviously added that. It's going by the most recent stuff, but I could go ahead and just add here's my scrolls from the 26th from it, so it tells you the group, the name. It's a slide group, it's got the 12 slides in it, it's from test presentation, it's from this service, and then here's the one from the second service that I just added. So also, if you wanted to like pull in like how great you are and edit the theme or the background and stuff, obviously, as you can see, it's just everything I just added, and I can just scroll all the way down. I can also search. So one of the things I search for a lot is Holy Spirit slides. So here's the Holy Spirit second service and first service and whatnot. Here's my name slides. When I'm adding the names, here's the group. Again, it's a long sermon title, but you get the idea of, I know that it's going to sort by most recent. So these are the most recent ones, and etc., etc. So it's a really nice feature that once you've already imported stuff or added stuff to a service, you can go ahead and just reuse the item. You don't have to go back to your folders and pull it right in. It's already associated and everything like that. So those are all the really quick basics without getting into all the editing stuff, or a little bit I did, but that's how to kind of make a new presentation, open a recent presentation, duplicate things, and add some of the basic elements to a Proclaim presentation. And remember, to reiterate, this can be done from any machine that you have Proclaim installed on. It does not have to be at the church or on a church machine. It can be on your desktop or laptop at home, and it'll save all to the cloud, and really kind of opens up the door for versatility. Right, thanks, goodbye.